Hey, it's your good friend, it's your pal, it's your compadre, it's TC, everybody. What's going on the big show today? Well, I'm pissed off. Let's just put it that way. I've been dealing with a company called Theme Forest and a company called Ruby Themes or something like that. And yeah, what a bunch of shit. Anyways, I digress. So what's going on the big show today? Well, first of all, welcome to Rock This Town Live. It is your good friend, your pal. You know what I'm saying there. It's TC. We're here every Monday through Friday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. That is 5 in the Central Time Zone. And then what else? 3 p.m. Pacific. So very nice. What's going on the show today? Well, we'll relive the past shortly with a show from 1985 that was star-studded, that was not Live Aid, ironically. So there you go. We'll check in with Lars Ulrich and Richie Blackmore. Okay, cool. Rocktober releases have been delayed, at least some of them. I got them on my phone here. Let me see if I can find them here. But yeah, we'll get to that in just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. I will grab this and I will see. There it is right there. Okay, cool. All ready to go. And then we'll do a little battle of albums that were released on this day in history. That is 9/9. September 9th. And what is it today? It is Rush versus Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, nice matchup there. I like that. I'm digging on it, baby. No, baby, you dig it the most. So there you go. Cool. And then, okay, cool. There you go. All right, cool. And then, and then I'm going to I mentioned that Queen was probably the greatest band of all time, and I confirmed that today, and I'll go over the top 6 greatest bands of all time. So you got that to look forward to. So I know it'll probably be amazing and you'll love it and it'll be sexy and all that kind of good stuff there. So let me move this over here. Let me move this over here. And then let's relive the past, baby. Reliving the past. So what happened 40 years ago? Well, Farm Aid happened on September 22nd. We're actually coming up on the anniversary of that in just under 2 weeks. So it was actually a hell of a show for Farm Aid. And I was looking for the kind of the poster for this, and the poster doesn't do it justice in some ways. So what I found was like this DVD. It almost looks like a CD more than DVD, but apparently it's pro shot, and it is some of the highlights of the Farm Aid concert. And it starts off with Bon Jovi, apparently. I don't even remember Bon Jovi playing Farm Aid back in 1985. They did Runaway and Heart of America. So there you go. Connecting Farm Aid to the Heart of America, of course. Where was this? Oh, it was at the University of Illinois in Champaign, Illinois, at Memorial Stadium there, back on September 22nd. Who else was there? X was there. Nice. Brian Setzer. I didn't do any Rock This Town, but I guess you can't have everything. Foreigner apparently was there doing Hot Blooded, Urgent, and I Want to Know What Love Is. I should move this over here so I'm not looking off to the side. Charlie Daniels Band did In America and Double Wind Down to Georgia. Oh, yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Lou Reed was there, Bonnie Raitt, Ricky Lee Jones, Roy Orbison, B.B. King, Carole King, John Fogerty doing Old Man Down the Road. Love that. Randy Newman, Neil Young, John Mellencamp, of course, one of the organizers of that. And then Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers were there as well. Wow, nice. Bob Dylan, Sammy Hagar. Now, this is the money right here. This is, I think, the first time that Sammy and Eddie Van Halen appeared on stage together. And they did, well, I think One Way to Rock. I'm trying to remember if Eddie was out for all the songs. He might have been out for all the songs. One Way to Rock, 3 Lock Box, I Can't Drive 55, and Rock and Roll. I definitely remember Eddie and Sammy doing Rock and Roll at Farm Aid back in 1985. Joni Mitchell, and then, of course, Don Henley as well. So I don't know. Out of all those artists, who would I love to see that set list again? Well, definitely Sammy Hagar and Eddie, of course. I wouldn't mind seeing the set list of Charlie Daniels Band from back in 85. I think that's super cool. Of course, Roy Orbison no longer with us, and he would be amazing to see. But I'm sure the stuff is on probably YouTube. You could probably find all of these performances on YouTube. And now I kind of got to go seek them out. I know the Sammy and Eddie Van Halen ones are up on YouTube, but not sure on the others. So there you go. That is Reliving the Past right here on the mighty Rock This Town Live. Of course, you can catch us on, what is it? YouTube, Facebook, and also Spotify. Nice. And then what else are we looking at? Oh, yeah, Apple Podcasts, stuff like that. So there you go. Not too shabby. Here's a picture that I found that got posted to the internet. Ironically, the young lady on the left looks like my sister-in-law with blonde hair. So go figure. Apparently, that's Candace Knight. Well, I know it is Candace Knight. That is the wife of Richie Blackmore. In the middle, that is Lars Ulrich having dinner with Candace and Richie Blackmore. And then you see Richie on the right there, just chilling out. I think Richie's kind of getting a little older now, isn't he? I gotta find out. How old is Richie Blackmore? I'm guessing Richie is probably like 78. If I had to guess, no, Richie is now 80 years old. That's crazy that Richie Blackmore is 80 years old. Oh my God. In this photo, I'm looking at this photo and it looks like Lars Ulrich is wearing like a nun's thing on his head. Doesn't it look like, with like that background image and stuff? It looks like he's wearing a nun's thing and maybe a cross as well. So anyways, Richie Blackmore for 80, looking pretty good, I gotta say. And yeah, will we ever see a Blackmore reunion with our friends in Deep Purple? Obviously, John Lord is gone, so I don't know. Maybe not. So there you go. I thought that was a kind of a cool photo of Lars, Richie, and I know Lars is like this huge Deep Purple fan, and by extension, probably a Rainbow fan as well. So there you go. And then, of course, Richie's wife, Candace Knight. So not too shabby. Oh, Rocktober releases. So the Rocktober releases this year are actually pretty damn good, I got to say. Though a bunch of them just got delayed. I just got an email telling me that a number of them have been delayed. They haven't been canceled. They're not canceled, thank God, but they've been delayed. So a bunch of the releases scheduled for October 3rd have been pushed back to the 17th of October. They include the Distillers, Black Sabbath, The Greatest Hits, We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll, the Von Bondi, Spain, Morphine, Death from Above, 1979 is getting a pressing. That's super cool. That's actually on a clear with pink splatter vinyl. Very nice. David Lee Roth. That is the first 5 David Lee Roth albums in a box set being repressed. Lenny Kravitz, Black and White America. Yes, 90125. And then Big Generator, Typo Negative, the least worst of. New York Dolls, and then Portal for Pyros, kind of, I think, the record that everybody's really excited about, the reissue of the first Portal for Pyros record. And then a bunch of other titles from Rocktober were delayed as well, from the 10th of October to the 24th. That includes Stone Temple Pilots. That is the self-titled record. That's going to be on red vinyl. That came out in 2010, and I know a lot of people are excited for that. Jethro Tull, Ministrel in the Gallery. The Mr. Bungle records, Disco Volante, Mr. Bungle, and California, all on color vinyl, are being reissued. They've been pushed back 2 weeks. Fleetwood Mac Tusk, same thing. What is that? That's on cobalt blue vinyl. That's actually looks pretty cool. And then 4 Dream Theater records. 4. That's right, 4. Octavarian, Train of Thought, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, and Systematic Chaos. And then finally a couple of Ministry records, and the Ministry records are expanded 2 LP versions. Those records are Palm 69, and then A Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste. So there you go. That is what's going on right now with the Rocktober releases. So it's kind of a surprise that they actually got delayed, because Rhino is usually on their game, man. Rhino handles all the back catalog for Elektra. They handle it for Atlantic Records and then Warner Brothers as well. So hence you got the David Lee Roth stuff, blah, blah, blah. So very, very nice. And yeah, so there you go. All right, let me get this up. I'm going to do this. What am I doing here? Oh, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Come on now. Come on in now, baby. There it is right there. A couple of news stories, not too much to talk about, but I thought this was kind of interesting. So the big thing here is that, let me see, let me do it this way, actually. No, it's this way. That's what I'm looking for. The RAA, this is paid subscription streaming drives U.S. recorded music revenues to new highs. the music industry makes a lot of money. I know it doesn't make a lot of money for the artists and stuff, but I know companies like, say, Universal Music makes a lot of money. And just ask any artist, any record store, any YouTuber, any, music fan. If you're getting screwed over in the music industry, 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be Universal Music, just saying. So watch out for them. But yeah, the Recording Industry Association has released its mid-year 2025 recorded music revenue report, reflecting a high of $5.6 billion across all formats. That's just for streaming? It's pretty good. Now, of course, Universal Music's probably getting about 80% of that revenue and keeping it for themselves. And then the other 20% is divided among the artists and then also the other labels, BMG, Sony, and of course, Warner Brothers. But I'm just saying. Paid subscriptions continue to proliferate, with units growing 6.4% to end the period with 105 million accounts. Jen and I have had a Spotify account for a long time now. Probably since Spotify debuted in the US. So it's been a long time. Of course, I wish Garth Brooks's catalog, for whatever reason, Garth Brooks is doing his own thing. Don't get it, but whatever. And you can only get his like vinyl records, and even those are like the hit and miss stuff a little bit at Walmart of all places. So who knows what Garth is doing, but I guess Garth is still continues to be big as anybody. Of course, I'd love to see the Badlands record. Jake Ely, actually both Badlands records on streaming. I was actually listening to Shotgun Messiah today, so not too shabby. Actually, I heard a rumor that Shotgun Messiah is going to reboot next year for like an anniversary, and I don't know. It would be kind of cool if 2 of those Shotgun Messiah records actually got reissued on vinyl. To me, it would be cool anyway, so there you go. But yeah. So you got a streaming blah, 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 blah. What did I say? Exactly. Do you subscribe to a streaming service, whether it's Amazon or Spotify or Apple or whatever else is out there? Probably Google. I'm sure Google has a music thing there. So I don't know. They've been getting my money for a long time, just like Netflix has been getting my money for a long time. Though Jen and I just canceled Netflix because we signed up for YouTube TV so I can watch NFL football. My Vikings won last night. Very nice. It was a little hit and miss there. Those were 2 crappy teams for 3 quarters, it seemed to me. And then the Vikings kind of took over in the 4th quarter, and Caleb Williams became Caleb Williams that Chicago Bears fans know and love, and was sailing all of his passes. So that helped the Vikings pull out a victory last night in Chicago. So there you go. But yeah, with the advent of signing up for YouTube TV, I figured we don't need so many streaming services, so we decided to cancel Netflix. When Stranger Things comes back, we'll sign up again. So, but in the meantime, that's what's going on there. I'm going to check the chat in just a second. In the meantime, and see if anybody's hanging out with us today. If you are, I appreciate it. Of course, if you want to leave a comment in the chat, that's super cool. And if you want to leave a comment as a comment, that works too, I suppose. So there you go. All right, cool. So this apparently happened last night, and I missed it. Oh no. Oh no. 2 different rock artists performed on different late night TV shows yesterday. Way to clickbait that headline, Loudwire. Love Loudwire and its sister site, Ultimate Classic Rock. 2 of the crappiest sites ever, though Rolling Stone is the worst site ever. So we'll just put that out there. Though they do cover the music I love, so I tend to be endeared to them. So do I really think they're that crappy? Probably not. It's just getting out of their sites is an adventure, and if you try to view their sites on mobile, it's an exercise in futility. It is just so many ads taking over the screen, you can't even view it. So even you see it here, I have an ad blocker on, and somehow there's still ads on this page. So of course there is. Anyways, the world of heavy music was alive and well on late night TV last night, Monday night, with both Spinal Tap, oh my God, and Drowning Pool appearing on competing late night talk shows. So Spinal Tap was on Jimmy Kimmel Live. And of course, they've got the new movie coming out with Tap 2, The End Continues. and they were they did a version of Big Bottom with like 6 people on bass, which is kind of funny. So I appreciate that. You got 6 people playing bass. Talk about bum cakes. My girl's got them. Big Bottom, drive me out of my mind. How can I leave this behind? Exactly, including Thundercat, which is a really cool cat, no pun intended there, joining Spinal Tap, and then a young lady called Tal Wilkenfeld. So there you go. Not too shabby, but yeah, it was a pretty good performance. Harry Shearer, who plays Derek Smalls, now 82 years old. 82. I thought Richie Blackmore was getting up there. And then, of course, Michael McKean and Christopher Guest. Nigel Tufnell and David St. Hubbins are, they're 77 now. So I guess maybe the bit of the movie is that all of these rock stars just keep going. So maybe that's it. So there you go. And then what else? Oh, so there's a little highlights of that. And then nope, we don't really care about that. Okay, so then Drowning Pool actually played. See, Drowning Pool is one of these bands that was just, they hit it big at the wrong time. Of course, we're coming up on the 24th? The 24th year since, I don't want to call it the anniversary, the 24th year since 9/11 happened. Jen and I were living up in Prescott, Arizona at that time. And I remember going into the bedroom and waking her up. And I had this terrible look on my face because I'd gotten up early. I worked for a company out of Los Angeles that would go on to start MySpace, if you remember that website. And I went in and I woke Jen up and I told her kind of what was happening. And I was like, oh my God. So anyways, but yeah, at the time, Drowning Pool had kind of hit the scene, and Bodies was a big song for them. Well, unfortunately, after 9/11, a lot of radio stations stopped playing that song for obvious reasons. And, it was one of those bands that kind of wrong place at the wrong time, but still they've survived, and they were on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. And they were joined by Offset, who's apparently a rapper, and special guest J.I.D. Don't know. I know of Drowning Pool, but I don't know of those guys. So yeah, there was actually a number of things like Zoolander, I think, had come out just like the weekend before. Remember the movie Zoolander with Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson? Jen and I saw that the other night, and Jen thinks that movie has not stood the time. I think it stood the test of time. I kind of like it a little bit. Is not a fan of that movie anymore. And of course, Zoolander 2 was a terrible movie. Dumb and Dumber 2 was a terrible movie. And here comes Spinal Tap. Don't know what to think of this one. I hope it's good. Rob Reiner hasn't made a good movie in 30 years, I would argue. Now, to his credit, he has not made a lot of movies in the last 30 years. But in the 80s, and that guy was Fireman, Stand By Me, Misery, of course, Spinal Tap, The Princess Bride. So all due respect to Rob Reiner, we love to call him Meathead because he is the ultimate meathead. So there you go. All right, let me check the chat, see what's going on. Let me close out of that window. Hello. See, I can't even close out of a window because these sites won't let me get out of here. All right, cool. Hey, Jen, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Dylan, very nice. Did you see the artist for the Innings Festival? Did they announce the Innings Festival, Dylan? Ooh, I got to go find that right now. We're going to talk about that. I was searching for your name. I started typing in Dylan. Oh my God, what a fool I am. Innings Festival. All right, don't tell me. I'm so excited. 2026 lineup. Ooh, there it is. Here it is. Let's see. Okay, cool. So Mumford & Sons headlines on Friday night. That might be a band that you like, Dylan. Am I crazy? I'm guessing they're a little 21 Pilots-y. I don't know. We'll see. The Goo Goo Dolls. Very nice. Jen loves the Goo Goo Dolls. Miles Smith, Group Love, Peach Pit, OK Go, Marcy Playground. And that's about it. Oh, Dylan. I see why. Saturday night at the Innings Festival. This comes up February 20th in Tempe, Arizona during spring training. 21 Pilots headlining. Very nice, Dylan. Very, very nice. Cage the Elephant, Lord Huron as well. Dashboard Confessional, The Fray. Jen loves The Fray. Silver Sun Pickups. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. And then Sunday, Blink 182, our buddy Fleetwood Mac, who has a record store in, I don't even know where the hell it is, in Chandler, Arizona, I think it is. And it's called Desert Groves or something like that. Anyway, something like that. I'd like to give him a hard time about that. But anyways, Mr. Blonde, we call him now, I guess, instead of Fleetwood Mac. He loves himself some Blink 182. Sublime also on the bill. Public Enemy, nice. Big Boy, Switchfoot. I dig Switchfoot. And Bowling for Soup. So that's super cool. All right, so let's go. And there's actually 2 weekends of this. Then the following weekend, there's the Extra Innings Festival. I see what they did there, and I love it. And they haven't announced that yet. Damn it. Okay, well, but still, very nice. So congratulations, Dylan. Are you going to see 21 Pilots on Saturday, February 21st? If you are, all right, cool. All right, let me check the chat and see what I've missed so far. Let me scroll back up. Beat after beat, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. You're already Rush versus Ozzy. You don't know? Do you know what album I'm going to even feature? But still, I see. Maybe. There you go. Let's see here. Dylan had mentioned how was the ribeye. Oh, beat after beat. The ribeye was pretty good. I like steak, but Jen likes steak a little more, so that's fine. It is what it is. Hey, Jenny, of course. Let's see. What else did I miss? Did I miss anything else? I don't think so. David. Hey, David. Thanks for hanging out. Good to see you. Rush. Wait, yeah, right there. Rush. Still haven't got it hung up on the wall. I'm thinking about putting some acoustical panels in here because I need to deaden the sound because I'm going to start doing some voiceover stuff in theory. I don't know. Maybe I could do my concert voice. 1 show, not enough. 2 shows, still not enough. By overwhelming demand, welcome back, 21 Pilots. Maybe not my best work there. So there you go. Very nice. All right. Yes, Dylan says, hoping to see 21 Pilots. That is super cool. There you go. And then Beat After Beat says, I don't think the YouTube chat is working. I see your comments, so I think we're working. So there you go. All right, cool. Battle of the Band. So we've already got a vote for Rush by our friend Beat After Beat. So here it is. What is this? 3 years ago only. Wow, it's only been 3 years. Ozzy released his final record, Patient Number 9, his final record while he was alive. Who knows? There might be another record in the pipe that's going to come down the pipe at some point. Produced by Andrew Watt, who was a hell of a good producer. He produced, I think, the Post Malone record. He produced the Stones record. He's produced some other really cool artists as well. He produced this record. I love the first single, Patient Number 9, the title track, with Jeff Beck. Now Jeff Beck and Ozzy both gone. My brain can't comprehend that, but it is what it is. Great record, but in 1982, a little band out of Toronto, Canada released a gem called Signals. And I love the album cover of Signals, including the 40th anniversary cover of Signals. It is fantastic. Sold over 4 million copies worldwide, double platinum in the US, baby. New World Man is on there. And I do believe that Jen's favorite Rush song of all time, if I remember, is Subdivisions. And it is a fantastic song. I concur. I should have done my top 5 Rush songs today. Man, Limelight, I'm sorry. I love Limelight. Tom Sawyer, I'm sorry. I love Tom Sawyer. Subdivisions, love it. So many good songs, man. But anyways, maybe I'll do that another day. Maybe next Tuesday, because David, who is our resident Rush expert, is usually here on Tuesdays to hang out. So there you go. The Analog Kid also, I can't talk. The Analog Kid is also on that record. So to me, I don't know. Who would you pick? Would you pick the Ozzy record, Patient Number 9, or would you pick blah, 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 blah? Would you pick Signals? This is a no-brainer to me. While I love Ozzy, come on. It's Rush and it's Signals. Bam. 2 albums released September 9th in the history of music. Definitely got to be Signals in my humble opinion. Dylan's going Ozzy. Nice. Interesting. Very, very, very cool. And yeah, there you go. Beat after beat going New World Man and Rush Signals. And Jen says she's taken Rush because Subdivisions is definitely my favorite Rush song. Brian, hey Brian, how you doing? Good, thanks for hanging out. He's going with Rush, very nice. So it seems like Dylan, you're falling here, and I know David. Yeah, David would definitely be going Rush. That's a no brainer, right? If David selects Ozzy over Rush, I think we just have to stop existence, right? So that would be it. It would be no more. So there you go. All right, cool. All right, let me continue on. So a couple of vinyl announcements. So what do I have left in the show today? I still have some vinyl announcements today, including this bad boy, Bold as Love by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. This is being reissued on a 5 LP box set for $135. You know what I love about the Jimi Hendrix catalog is that they're nicely priced. I think you can get Are You Experienced and some of the other Jimi Hendrix stuff at your favorite record store for probably $20, $22. So those records are always nicely priced. And for a 5 LP with a CD and a DVD of the Dolby Atmos, nice, on Blu-ray, $135 to me. That's a good deal. I mean, if that can't be Universal Music putting that out. It just can't be, because if it was Universal, it'd be like $199. But $135, is that right? Yeah, $135. Very nice. So that's coming out here soon. That just got announced. Also, Screamin' Jay Hawkins. I know a lot of people love Screamin' Jay Hawkins. I Put a Spell on You. I thought this is a cool looking album cover. It's obviously white with red splatter. Very nice. A classic record from Screamin' Jay Hawkins that is being reissued. I don't know if Jen has seen this. Maybe she has, but I know she was disappointed that there was not a Luke Spiller. Now, Luke Spiller is the lead singer of the Struts. Very talented young man. The band is great, but rock music just isn't in vogue. At least that type of rock music isn't in vogue in the last 10 years. 15 years. Hopefully that's changing now. Hopefully that's changing. I was thinking about this. You know what? In honor of Ozzy, I think Ozzy would be like, if I have to move on to my next phase in my existence, so be it, to bring rock and roll back to the mainstream, because rock has been kind of out of the mainstream for the last 15 years, maybe even longer. And Ozzy probably would make that sacrifice. He would be like, yeah, rock and roll. I love the heavy music, So if something good comes out of Ozzy passing, hopefully that's rock. MTV actually paid tribute to Ozzy, and we had rock music with Nuno Bettencourt and Adam Wakeman and Youngblood and Joe Perry and Steven Tyler for 10 minutes. 10 minutes on MTV and CBS the other night. That is amazing. So there you go. But anyways, Luke Spiller, I digress, of the Struts, formerly of the Struts. Well, no, currently of the Struts. Sorry, Luke. His vinyl is being pressed. Now, this is going to set you back, $50, though it comes with an 11-page booklet, and it's also signed. So perhaps Jennifer will be, Luke Spiller's already been ordered. So, what, Jenny? What? Anyways, well, happy birthday, Jenny. You're getting the Luke Spiller record just in time. So that's very cool. Jen's a big fan of the Struts, big fan of Luke Spiller, and Piper Conley, who used to play in the record store for us. And she was a local favorite along with her dad, Chris. She actually has taken some mentoring classes from the bass player in the Struts, in addition to meeting a bunch of other cool people like Ray Manzarek of the Doors and stuff like that. Piper, I think, is only, 14? So she's got like 4 more years to hone her act, and then I think she's going to be something else. And then another young man that worked in the record store during the summer of 2022, wanted to say Dylan. Well, Dylan, maybe you worked in the record store too. What the hell? But it was, oh my God, I'm trying to mind blank on what was I forget that kid's name. Oh, I'm going to be it's just, I think I'm on the spot. That's why I'm forgetting his name. Connor. Thank you, Connor. That was his name. He's actually got a band too, so very nice. And what's cool is that Piper has a band. It's Piper Conley and the Habit, and then Connor's in a band as well. So bring back the rock bands, and both those bands, while they're maybe more 21 Pilots than say Rush or Ozzy, I'll still take that. So very nice. And then Sandy would get all excited for this one. Wings is putting out the definitive collection, kind of their greatest hits on vinyl, on different colored vinyl, actually. You see a little white, you see a little green, you see a little pink. So very nice if you're a Paul McCartney fan. And everybody loves Paul McCartney. Yes, 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 maybe. I actually saw, it's funny, it would be nice if our friend Jeff Lloyd was hanging out with us tonight, because I think is the maybe 45th anniversary or something like that of John Lennon's Imagine record. I think John Lennon's Imagine record came out. I think I saw that. John Lennon Imagine. Let me see when that came out. The album came out in 71. Wee. And now somebody, oh yeah, September 9th, 1971. So come on. I mean, yeah. Anyways, so I was not going to take Ozzy out for John Lennon. I certainly wasn't going to take Rush out for John Lennon. All due respect to John Lennon, but yeah, Imagine came out. What would that be? 54 years ago today. So if you're celebrating John Lennon, John Lennon and Imagine, the title track, of course, one of the worst songs in the history of the world. But, you know, hey, he's a Beatles, so he gets away with it, right? That's the way I look at it. So not too shabby. All right. Speaking of the greatest bands in the world, did the Beatles make my list? Yeah, they did. They did make the list. So Sandy would be okay with this list, I'm guessing. Here's my list of because I mentioned that Queen was probably the greatest band of all time. And I still stand by that at this point. Even though Def Leppard, my favorite band, Van Halen, right up there as well. I love Queensryche, so many other great bands. But in the big scheme of things, I also know that, you know, there's bands bigger than Leppard and Van Halen. It is what it is. Number 6, I've got Led Zeppelin. I think in some ways they've become less of a band in the last 10 years because it's just music that's older now for some reason. Well, that sounded really, really stupid, didn't it? It's older because it is older now. I mean, what, 50 years, 55 years since Led Zeppelin 1 or something? And then what, 40 or 50 years since Physical Graffiti? So it's been a while, as Stained would sing, right? I got the Stones at number 5. As time has gone by, I like the Stones a little more. Let It Bleed is a hell of a record. So I would put that. I mean, do you have a favorite? I mean, okay, you have a favorite band like David Doman. I know, David, you have Rush as number 1. Jennifer, Leppard as number 1. Dylan, perhaps, 21 Pilots is number 1. Beat After Beat. What is your favorite band of all time? And then Beat After Beat just mentioned in the chat that he would have Led Zeppelin as the greatest rock band of all time. I can respect that. But who's your favorite band of all time? I don't know if I've ever asked you that question. I got to find that out. Anyways, I got the Stones at 5. I got Metallica at number 4, man. I love these guys. Master of Puppets. What a fantastic record. Garage Inc. I think in addition to being one of the greatest live bands ever, Metallica is definitely one of the greatest cover bands ever. They've done such amazing covers over the years. And then, of course, the Black Album was gigantic as well. Pink Floyd, a band that I probably couldn't stand in the 80s and the 90s because of all the bullshit around the whole, oh, we got to get high and we got to go. Not that I was opposed to that, because I had a buddy named Douchebag Dave that fed me some pot one time. And anyways, that's another story unto itself. However, but you know, like you go into the laser show to see Pink Floyd, and I just did not get it at the time. Now I get it. I get it. Pink Floyd is a hell of a band. And then at number 2, I got the Beatles. I have to pay homage to the Beatles. I know Jen loves Revolver, isn't it? I think it's Revolver. And then number 1, I've got Queen. Now I listed Night at the Opera, News of the World, and The Game, but I prefer 100%. I would take it every day of the week, Queen's Greatest Hits Volume 2 versus Volume 1. So I love 80s and 90s Queen because it is just fantastic in my humble opinion. 70s Queen is great. And there are some amazing songs. Don't Stop Me Now, of course, Bohemian Rhapsody, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on. It's so many great songs that Queen put out. But I love the Roger Taylor stuff, all due respect to Freddie. I love the album Jazz. Jazz is a great 70s record from Queen. But then the 80s stuff, The Works, A Kind of Magic, Innuendo in the 90s. Ooh, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Beat After Beat says Duran Duran is your favorite. I love Duran Duran. So Beat After Beat, do you collect any vinyl? And if you do you have the Wedding album on vinyl? That is the holy grail, one of the holy grails of the vinyl community these days. That record has never been reissued on vinyl is a sin. And I think it was only issued in Europe back when that album first came out. What was that be? That would be what, 1990, 91, somewhere in that range, I think. So there you go. Very nice. All right, cool. Black Sabbath. Yeah, Jen makes a point of people would put Black Sabbath on the list. I get it, but who would you knock off? I guess maybe you knock off Metallica, but I wanted to put somebody newer on the list, and Metallica definitely stood the test of time here in the last 40 years. So there you go. That is my list, and I'm happy with it. Personally, I would definitely have, in my top 10, I would definitely have Queen. I would definitely have Pink Floyd at this point. Probably those early Pink Floyd records are a little to me, but hey, once you get to Wish You Were Here, it just starts, and then Dark Side of the Moon, and then on, and it's just so good. And then, of course, Metallica, I would definitely have in my top 10 as well. So there you go. Beat After Beat does not have the Wedding album. No one has that, unfortunately. So there you go. Hey, if you're digging the show, I'd appreciate if you smash the like button on Facebook or on YouTube. It would mean a lot. And that's all I'm going to ask, baby. That's all I'm going to ask. Smashy, smashy. Very nice. All right. Name that tune. Okay, so here's something. We're up to Name That Tune. Something I started doing a few weeks ago. This is going to be a hard one, though there was a clue in some ways on the last slide that I featured of the greatest bands of all time. So let that be a hint to you. I'm going to show you a scene that's going to be hard to pick out. This is a really hard scene. This is the opening scene of the movie where the lead actor in it does a monologue. And he is walking through a garage, smoking, I think probably a cigar. And he's doing this monologue, and there's an infamous song from a band playing as the movie begins while he's doing this monologue. Can you name the movie, first and foremost? Can you name the band and the song as well? I know it's hard. So if you're listening to the podcast, this is going to be incredibly hard to describe. Once again, it is an actor. It looks like he may be balding, and he is walking through a garage. It looks like there's a car in the background, where it's like the garage door is open. It looks like almost like a garage where you get your car worked on, not a garage like your garage at your house. So there you go. And then yeah, he's kind of in a silhouette. It's a silhouette of him, because I think this is basically a scene early in the movie where he's older. So the director in this particular case chose to shoot the actor kind of as more of a silhouette, because if he shoots him kind of straight on, he's going to look his age. And then the movie progresses, 15 years into the future, and then it continues. So there you go. So that is, hey, David, thanks for the kind words, and thanks for the birthday wish to Jen she celebrated last weekend. So that is the opening scene. So once again, I'll give it a second here. Coming up, there's a couple of concerts to talk about. There's a Heart and a Slaughter shows to wrap up the show here coming up. Yeah, so there you go. Is this, I think this is probably set in Boston. There's a clue for the movie. It is set in Boston. And I think yeah. There you go. Can't give anywhere more away. So there you go. So anyways, a reminder, we are here every Monday through Friday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central, and 3 on the West Coast. And then, of course, you can check out the show live on YouTube and Facebook. Very, very nice. And then you can check the video or audio version of the podcast, or the show, I prefer to say, on Spotify. And then, of course, you can check it out on Apple Podcasts as well. So there you go. All right. So nobody knows this? No one? All right, cool. So that is Jack Nicholson. Yes, it is, Jen. And that is the opening scene, the monologue in The Departed. Who's The Departed? It's Miles Kennefic. It is The Departed. The song playing is Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones. So I knew this was going to be super hard. Tomorrow I'll come back with something a little easier. But there you go. So that is it. Jen says she thinks she knows now, but yeah. We'll see if she pops out the answer there. All right, cool. Concerts. Not much going on in the concert world today, other than there was a couple more tour dates announced for the Heart, the Royal Flush Tour, baby, featuring Todd Rundgren, Cheap Trick, and Starship, which features Mickey Thomas, of course. Grace Slick is no longer in the band because Grace Slick is, how old is Grace Slick now? Grace Slick age, she is 80. Whoop, hang on a second. Where is Grace? There she is. She is 80. Wow. Grace Slick is 85 years old now. That's crazy. She is going to be 86 next month. Man, time flies. So there you go. But yeah, some shows for Heart and Todd Rundgren and Cheap Trick coming up around the country, baby. And then also Slaughter is doing a show this weekend. And that is September 13th, Saturday. That is at the Heartland Patriots Festival. That is in Joplin, Missouri. All right, cool. Appearing with Slaughter includes Loverboy, Quiet Riot, and then a couple of other bands. So there you go. Not too shabby. Very nice. Jen was going to guess Dropkick Murphy, Shipping Off to Boston. I think that is actually in the soundtrack. And wasn't The Departed? There is, I think there's a Pink Floyd song on this The Departed soundtrack as well. The Departed soundtrack. Let me find the songs. Oh, Comfortably Numb. Oh, doesn't get any bigger than that. Yeah, is on the Departed soundtrack. Baby Blue by Badfinger is on the Departed soundtrack as well. And then, of course, I'm Shipping Off to Boston. And then Gimme Shelter by the Stones. That kind of headlines the soundtrack from The Departed. So there you go. Beat After Beat loves Slaughter. Very nice. Duran Duran. How many buttons did you say you have? 3,000? Oh my God, that is crazy. We had a friend of the store, a local favorite of ours, Jim, actually donate a collage that we had set up in the store to Duran Duran when we had the store for, 3+ years. So that was super cool. So not too shabby. All right, let me get back to the chat there. I think I've covered everything. Very, very nice. Yeah, synergy with the list today. Very, very cool. I love Jack Nicholson. The Departed, I'm going to just call The Departed Jack Nicholson's last movie. He did that movie with Morgan Freeman and Rob Reiner. Actually, Rob Reiner directed in some ways Mr. Jack Nicholson's final film some almost 20 years ago, I guess it would be, maybe even a little longer than that. It's not a great movie, but it still has Jack in it, so it's still pretty good. A Jack movie that I kind of love is Anger Management with Adam Sandler. It's actually a fun movie. And of course, Jack, so many great movies, including The Shining. Of course, Rob Reiner directed Jack Nicholson in what was it? Not Born on the 4th of July. It's the Tom Hanks movie where the two military, where he plays the major or lieutenant major or something at Gitmo. What was that? What was the name of that movie? I forgot the name of that movie. Anyways, if you know the name of that movie with Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson has to take the stand at the end. He said, right, I called for a code red. So anyways, if you know the name of that, let me know. Very, very nice. Beat After Beat says he has I had the wedding album from Uruguay. Yeah, very nice. That's cool. I think I remember that pressing when I've looked at it because Jen, I've looked into trying to find that pressing of the wedding album, but have had no luck. And I remember I think Uruguay was one of those weird pressings. So what was that Jack Nicholson movie with Tom Cruise? Kevin Bacon was in it. Demi Moore was in it. Kiefer Sutherland was in it. Who else am I forgetting there? Kevin Pollak was also in that movie. So there you go. A League of Their Own? No, that's not it. That's Tom Cruise. That's based on something like that. Anyway, so there you go. All right, cool. I'm going to wrap it up. If you know the movie, let me know in the comments or in the chat. And that's it. That's the big show. It is in the book. Of course, we're here live every Monday through Friday, starting at 6 p.m. as mentioned. It is your good friend. It is your pal. It is your compadre. It's TC, everybody. What did we learn today? We learned that the greatest rock band of all time is Queen. I stand by that. Though Beat After Beat would argue that it's, of course, Led Zeppelin. I understand. Well, actually, probably Duran Duran, but I get it there. Actually, Duran Duran would definitely be in my top 10 bands of all time. I do love Duran Duran. We also learned that Richie Blackmore is hanging out with Lars Ulrich and a blonde version of my sister-in-law, apparently. So go figure that one out. So we found that out. And then in the battle of two epic albums released this day in history, I did not include John Lennon's Imagine because it is not an epic record. I included Ozzy, Patient Number 9, and Signals. The clear winner is Signals, all due respect to our friend Dylan. And of course, the Innings Festival announced today, where Dylan's band, that is 21 Pilots, will be performing, along with some other cool bands. And then finally, did we learn anything else today? Not really. We learned that Jack Nicholson is the greatest actor of all time, in my humble opinion. So there you go. And Jen answers my question, A Few Good Men. Thank you, Jen, to close the show.